on the system level design side, because although, and you'll hear me talk about the regional consultants' work throughout and what they are doing and how they're doing it, from a program management point of view, we have to set the not only overall standards that apply to each of the segments so they do meet and tie together, but also it's important for us to lay down the system because the individual sections cannot do that. So our job is to look, first of all, what is the system design? What is the system performance and trip times? We've taken a number of high-speed trains throughout the world. We've taken the traction effort curves or the power requirements to drive these trains. We've taken the alignment profiles we've got to date and the station locations, and we've produced a performance, a trip time. Now, this looks kind of complicated, but it is not. And Brent, if I could ask you to move over a little bit, because I'm going to try and use what I've got here, if it works. There. Now, this is a trip time between LA and San Francisco. And at the bottom here, you can see the profile and this wonderful climb up here, or down gradient, 3,600 feet. No mean feet to run a train on this section, and then take it through across the Pacheco into Gilroy and San Jose and into San Francisco. The thing to note is that these train performance times are real times. They're not taken by some calculations. They've been taken by, in this particular one, is an AGV, a French AGV, one of the more latest trains that are out there, that's capable of and has been designed for 360 kph is what we're operating at. It also shows from the profile here what's the maximum speed that we can travel at and what speeds we will be operating at to achieve the running time between LA and San Francisco. This line here shows the power that we'll be using. How do you drive this train to operate at these speeds? And the thing to remember is this red block here is regeneration power, because as you come down here, the train set itself will regenerate and it'll push juice back into the overhead, which you can use again. And that's an important feature of looking at the overall system. And so this tool became very important for us to move to the next section, which is the timetable. But before I do that, is there any questions at all on this particular approach, on this graph? I'm taking...
I'd like to know the speed going through...
I'm sorry, sir, I can't hear.
Speed going through Morgan Hill seems to be quite high.
I don't know. Looking at it from this, I can't tell.
Thank you. How about, though, if I want to make sure anybody who does have any questions, if there are, Mr. Moorshed somehow decided how we were going to run the workshop, and how we're going to run the workshop will be through the course of the presentations we'll hear, but there will be times along the way we should stop and make sure anyone from the public who wishes to be heard, probably at the microphone there would be the best place to do it.
Okay.
If anyone has any of those concerns. Thank you very much. Yes, Mr. Kett.
I think that's a good suggestion, and I think all along the same lines, if somebody's got a question that we can't answer now, let's make sure somebody gets back to the gentleman with the answer to that question.
So if there are folks other than members of the authority who wish to ask questions, I'll ask for them to state their name and provide us information so we can follow up with them and get them the answer necessary. Okay, thank you.
And so
Chairman, on that question,
yes,
though,
Mr. Deere.
I think we have to stress that these are demonstration diagrams for our own experience. They're not proposed speed limits or operational characteristics, because we haven't done the studies to determine how we're going to operate the trains yet. So they're just demonstrations to try to give us some background. The point is that I wouldn't want someone to say, oh, it's going to go 200 miles an hour through Morgan Hill. Well, that's not the case. We want to make sure that everybody knows that these are examples. They're not actual situations. They're not proposed situations.
I'd like to answer that.
Thank you, Mr. Daniels.
It's against the best information we have. The traction motor curves are real. The alignment is the best alignment we have to date. We will continue to evaluate those, you're correct, as we move forward. But we've used this, and you'll see in the next couple of slides, the basis upon which we've drawn up a very detailed timetable, an operational plan, and from which we've got the ridership.
Okay. We understand that this is a maximum speed defined by physical conditions, but not an operational plan. You're just suggesting that this is what things to consider in terms of what could physically occur, but it's not the operational plan of the system. Got it.
It's likely to be. It's close. You'll see when we go to the timetable and then the operational plan. I know you're going to laugh at this one, but I'm going to go back, is that it is close.
Please just proceed with your presentation as you have prepared it. Thank you.
Okay. Let's go back one. Well, it's from the trip times that we then look at how fast we can go, where we can stop, what is likely against the alignment. And we've put together a full operating plan for the system. This operating plan is in draft form, will change as we finalize the alignment and finalize the speeds. But it's a fairly detailed one and will allow us to work through a full operational plan. And what I mean by that is that can, in fact, we run these trains? And what is typical to most people in the room, the string line diagrams, which show north and south. This is just a piece of it, which indicates that at the speeds we're talking about, over the alignments that we've laid down, that to the timetable that we have, that the trains, in fact, can run without getting fouled up between themselves at any portion of the route. It's from that we have worked with the ridership forecast. We've taken